Hello, Anastasia.
Hi, Ioana.
Hello, everyone. Today, with Anastasia as a support telepath and me as an external hypnosis operator, and both students of the Grifasi Academy, we are doing the investigative cycle number 287, the protocol number 1. The protocol that we are going to do, as always, is composed of two parts. We have the fixed part with fixed questions that we receive and that we cannot modify or deepen, except for the second part, where we will get more into details of what Anastasia will answer me in the first part. Anastasia, do you know today's subject?
No.
That's normal because no support telepath knows the subject of the investigation that we're doing before getting into the hypnosis state in order to not contaminate the information. If you want to contact me for a personal session, you can send an email to ioanasima.hre@gmail.com, and you can find sorry, all my contact details in the description box below. You have my Facebook, you have my Instagram, you have everything. That's it for me, Anastasia. You can get ready, you can get comfortable.
Okay.
On the count of three, investigate whether there are incarnated consciousnesses of non-terrestrial origin and tell me what you perceive or visualize. 1, 2, 3.
I did perceive a percentage, a small one, but there are some cases. The first images that I saw are there are two cases. One, I saw some type of marine life, not very like bodies of water that are not very deep because I'm perceiving like some type of lake with um, algae.
Mhm.
And the second one is not related to water. I see some type of forms of life that are not so evolved as humans. I'm not
Mhm.
seeing for this moment humans,
Mhm.
like an incarnation as a human, more like some forms of species of animals. Yes, for now, this is what I'm perceiving.
What subliminal conditions might lead to the reincarnation of a non-terrestrial consciousness on this planet?
Um, I perceive the word not reprogram, like restart. There's some type of switch that happens in a subliminal part of their will to do something. So their will kind of takes action in this scenario, and it um, pushes them kind of into a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the subliminal condition, like this wanting, this desire of an experience that has been initiated by some type of realization or um, perspective shift, something like that.
Very interesting. Okay. What characteristics can the etheric DNA of a person originating from a previous extraterrestrial reincarnation possesses?
I see some parts in the DNA of being like some basic forms of that extraterrestrial species,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. And I am referring to like Just like animals have these instincts, um, there can be the same things in humans, like um, a different way of thinking, different random impulses that are not so common.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I see some differences in the mental body. Yes, these different ways of thinking. To some, there is a strange feeling of not um, not really getting the way of human life, or understanding it fully, or being able to experience it fully. Just like that feeling of something is missing
Okay.
because there remains in the DNA of something else that they brought with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. What do you perceive or visualize in relation to the term starseed?
The first image that I saw is like a the mental concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking me to the mental body and showing me like some type of program. So it's more like a mental bias. This term, the starseed, um, that is created by a person themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, so it's taking me back to this these remaining particles in the DNA from the previous lives outside Earth
Mm-hmm.
that can remain, and can leave these attachments to something unknown, um, to them in their human life.
Mm-hmm.
So that may lead to identifying with something else, or th- just the creation of this term. I see it being very mental.
Mm-hmm. Does the etheric DNA of a starseed, free from any interference, appear pure or hybrid?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear
Mm-hmm.
really well.
Yes, yes. Does the etheric DNA of a starseed, free from any interference, appear pure or hybrid?
Mm. What it comes to me first is pure,
Okay.
but what you can identify in the DNA are those remaining particles, characteristics of a certain species.
Mm-hmm.
In it, it doesn't look like an interference because um, there's not something from the external, from the outside, that is influencing them, but they do have that characteristic, and it can challenge them in this experience, and that may lead to interferences, or just troubles, in their experience, um, because they cannot truly fit in
Mm-hmm.
until they discover, those subtleties of what's holding them back.
Mm-hmm. Are there any features of a star seed's etheric DNA that can influence the physical DNA? What do you perceive?
I perceived, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of how it's influencing, um, I perceive the conditions such as autism,
Okay.
because I see it being like, again, the mental body. There can be some different um, characteristics than a human, for example. in some ways it has different ways of of actioning. In some cases, it's more like, I wouldn't say developed because it's not superior, but it's different. It's in some cases more capable of doing some human tasks, for example, or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that mental body is so charged, it can be sometimes too much for the physical body. So, it can manifest in things like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that I perceived.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very, very good. Now, observe whether there are memories, subliminal images, or perceptual impulses that humans interpret as connections to stellar origins. What do you perceive?
The first thing that I'm perceiving is a lot of there can be a lot of things that are um, polluted
Mm-hmm.
from the outside, um, like dreams, for example. The dreams can be interfered.
Yeah.
Um, so the subliminal messages that the person is getting really really depends on how easily influenceable is the person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
um, I see some people that are really connected to themselves. They can identify uh, what their previous lives were. Um, but in most cases, I see it being like a scenario of fitting stories, of fitting into stories,
Mm-hmm.
and creating a scenario for yourself that is really just creating a vulnerability in your space for outside intervention or interferences.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Are there any cosmic or interdimensional entities that influence certain humans by inducing in them beliefs about being a starseed? What do you perceive?
Yes. The first image that I perceived is a humanoid. Um, it's like a thing for them. It's what I'm seeing. Um, yes, because there is a cycle created, like a separate segment for people who believe they are star seeds. But I see it being like a very, how do I say, very fake scenarios, because um, each of us, um, have something special in ourselves, and it's kind of creating this separation of and this belief that humans are less and anything outside is more, and identifying with that more from the outside is making you more special. And I see here the ego comes in, and it creates this kind of domino of effects of
Mhm,
first identifying with something from the outside, not being truly connected to yourself, seeking this connection with something else, and then the ego of positioning yourself as superior to to someone or to a race or anything. So it's kind of this complex domino effect. But yes, there is influence
Mhm.
from species.
We finished the fixed part, Anastasia, and so you mentioned that you first perceived the humanoid,
Mhm.
and you said it was a separate segment. Do you perceive this as an egregore?
Yeah, it clicked as yes when you said it.
Can can we compare it to religion?
Yes, and
But
it's evolving
it's smaller.
quite.
Is it smaller or bigger now today?
It's closer to being. It's not quite the same pace, but it's close in dimensions. It's evolving more rapidly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, you let's go back to this DNA, the parts of the DNA that you perceived. How do you perceive this these external parts of the DNA? How are they included in a person's DNA here on Earth?
I perceive them as energetical memory. It's like
Mm-hmm.
cell memory that remain there
Mm-hmm.
because some don't know how to get rid of them, or some keep them for safety or comfort. Uh, but it's like a cell memory. It stays there because it represents. It depends also on how many experiences the person had, the subliminal part had,
Mm-hmm.
and how ingrained some experiences are in the DNA. So it depends on how big those remaining particles of the past lives remain in the DNA. Um,
So if the person has less experiences, how would the DNA look like? Would this part be bigger or smaller?
Smaller. I perceive it as smaller.
So the more experiences you have on Earth, the more the external part in the DNA gets bigger.
The more experiences you have outside of Earth.
Oh, okay. No, I was asking on Earth.
Oh, so how many? Can you repeat then the question?
Yes. So for a person that is on Earth, it
Yes.
has this specific DNA, this specific part of the DNA from the planet his previous experiences
Yes.
were okay. Um, is it this part, is it bigger when the experiences are less on Earth?
Okay, now I understand.
Okay.
Um, yes, it's remaining bigger if the experiences on Earth are lesser.
The more you are on Earth, the
The that
smaller it gets.
Yes, that
Okay.
part is gets smaller, and also vice versa. That's what I was talking about. The more experiences you have outside of Earth, the more that part of the DNA, um, the
It's
bigger
bigger.
it will
Yeah.
be in your
Yeah.
life on Earth. Yes.
Mm, let's take an example. But before taking an example, you mentioned when we were talking about subliminal conditions, about their reincarnation here on Earth, you said the will, the desire.
Mhm.
Can you give more details on this? What else do you perceive?
Mm. I see the desire of changing scenarios, of experiencing something something different from what they've done in previous experiences.
Mhm.
Um, To some, I see it being as a joke, even like let me try it out. But what I'm perceiving the most is this desire of experimenting more and not really um, identifying that much anymore with um, the planet that they come from, or the experiences that are more predominant
Mm-hmm.
in their existence.
Okay. Now find a being that is on his first life on Earth and has this specific DNA.
Mm. Yes,
Is it a boy? Is it a girl?
it's a boy,
It's a boy. What age would you give this boy?
like 5.
Okay. What's his name?
Alex.
Alex. Okay. Read his DNA, his etheric DNA.
It's coming to me 60% human,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest I see it. Um, what came to me is Pleiade. I don't know how to say it
Perfect.
in Romanian,
Ple-
in English. Sorry,
isn't it play?
I don't really know.
Um,
Pleiade. Um,
yeah, Pleiades. I don't know, but okay, I get it. Um, Finally, okay, and he's in his first life on Earth.
mhm.
Um, how do you perceive his space, his energetical space? Let's analyze.
I perceive a sense of isolation
Mhm.
that was created kind of throughout these 5 years of his life on Earth, um,
Why?
because of the feeling of not knowing the ways. It's kind of like an uncomfortable feeling that he doesn't really realize consciously in his physical body, but it's there.
Okay.
It's like putting a triangle shape in a square space. It's
He
it's
feels
really
like he doesn't
uncomfortable.
fit.
Yes,
Mm,
there's really just a sense of confusion that
mhm.
he's not really aware of what it means, um, but it's there.
Okay. Um, how do you perceive his mental bodies, his energetical bodies? So the mental body first.
The mental body, I see it really mm, busy. How do I say full?
Mm-hmm.
It's really full. It's like constantly operating, constantly twisting things around. I see it more evolved than the rest of the bodies, than the emotional and the sexual one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The emotional body, how do you perceive it?
the emotional body, I perceive it really. It's like brand new right now.
Brand new.
Yes, it's looking like that, because it's like resetting to factory settings. It's
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And the
Um,
sexual body, how do you perceive it?
I see it in a process of adapting because it hasn't been used in the same way in his previous lives. So on Earth, it's adapting to a new environment, to new ways of existing, of manifesting itself. It has a larger impact here. So it's in a process of adapting.
Mm-hmm. Anastasia, can I talk to Alex directly through you?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let me talk to Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay. I'm playing.
Okay. Um, my name is Ioana. I'm here with Anastasia, my colleague. We are investigating, and you are very interesting. So, would you answer a couple of questions for us? It will help. It will help us understand more about what you have, about your choices. Okay. Why are you here, Alex? Why are you on Earth?
I got tired of anything else.
Okay. Mm, let's travel and see how you got here. Would you be so kind to show us the process of how you got here?
Okay.
Okay. Now I will count to three and we will go on the Pleiades, on your previous experience. 1, 2, 3. You're there now. What makes you want to live here?
It's not fun anymore. There. I want some. I want some restrictions, even if that seems stupid.
It doesn't,
Um,
if it's what you need.
I've experienced freedom.
Mhm.
Mm, Not really freedom, but here everything doesn't really have that many limits, or everybody just does what they want. I want something more fun.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Now I will talk to Anastasia and I will talk to you a bit later. Okay, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. Anastasia, disconnect. Disconnect from Alex. Disconnect completely.
Yes.
How do you perceive this planet?
I instantly had a feeling of floating. So everything is more fluid than here. It's not so
Okay.
material, not so condensed in energy. The energy is more fluid.
Mhm.
And so everything around is. Um, I do perceive, as he said, a lesser controlled system of existence.
Mhm.
Um, but I do perceive it still being a system.
A
It's
system?
not, yes, it's not
Mhm.
just everybody does whatever they want.
Do,
Um,
do you, if we were to relate the frequencies of these planets, because the Pleiades are more planets, but the one you're on right now,
mhm.
um, what dimension would it be corresponding to that planet?
It comes to me 5.
5.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you perceive a dome over the planet?
I perceive an idea of a dome, but I don't see a dome.
Okay.
Um, yes, the system looks different, but there is some kind of influence,
Mm-hmm.
but I perceive it more from within,
Yeah.
from like within the planet, not a dome.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How are the beings? Are the beings taller than you or smaller than you?
Taller,
Taller. Okay.
uh, tall, skinny, but kind of translucent.
Oh,
I see
so
them
no
more.
skin color.
No, there is. It's like an image, mm, um, of let's say a person,
Mm-hmm.
this creature, but it's kind of they turned the transparency down. Um,
You can see through them.
I can see through, but I can also see the color and facial expressions
Mm-hmm.
and clothes and things like that.
How are their eyes?
Um, bright, bright blue. It's like an ice blue.
Ice blue. Okay. Okay. And how are they organized? What's the main difference of their society and our society?
I don't see politics, rather a way of organization that has been that is being followed by everyone. It's like groups of people who are trusted different areas.
Yep.
Um, yes, but I don't see like many levels of superiority of like a pyramid of influence.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Now, is Alex here with you?
Hmm.
Okay. Let's observe chose, how he choose, how is how he is choosing the Earth as a planet. Why not Orion? Why not Andromeda? Why not another planet?
Hmm.
Why not Mars?
I see this. I see him like doing this with his fingers.
Yeah.
It's like a desire of his to experience density.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, it was a really easy decision for him. He wanted to experience density, something so different from the life that he's living. Um, didn't really care about other aspects of Earth.
Okay.
So he really wanted this for the experience of touch, of seeing, of hearing in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, I'm seeing him bored.
Okay. How many lives has he spent on the Pleiades on this planet?
7.
7. And he
Mhm.
got bored? Where was he before the Pleiades?
Mm. I see him in some type of dimension, space,
Mm-hmm.
where he's just like a little bulb of energy, and
Yes.
he's um, traveling through self-created portals
Mm-hmm.
with all types of experiences. Yeah, he's just navigating freely.
Okay. And then Pleiades and then Earth. Okay, now let's go to his reincarnation space just before he entered his physical body. Is he alone in this space? Describe me the space.
Mm. I perceive it like an more like an empty space, but I do perceive him with a friend. That's what I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to see. It's a friend from Pleiade.
Read the etherical DNA of his friend.
It is 100% Pleiadian.
Pleiadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is he there?
They chose this kind of to go together. They wanted to have an experience together,
Yeah.
like a life together.
Okay.
Um, but I don't see it happening. Didn't happen.
Why?
Um, because they didn't really have the notions of life on Earth, so they didn't really know the right way to choose.
So is the friend is he incarnated too,
Yes.
but somewhere else, not together with Alex?
Not no, not close to him. I see him being like um in his environment, but a far one.
Are there observe in the reincarnation space if there are any connections between them, any ties, any yeah, anything that connects them?
I do see something in the emotional body. They are really bonded with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of codependent, but not really that extreme. But they did have a close relationship.
Okay. How is Alex mm, choosing his life? How is he doing it?
I see him like swinging his hand
Okay.
um, and passing through scenarios and searching for like the most colorful one and with the most like physical experiences. So not something spiritual, more physical.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him choosing it. It has something to do with, those games for kids with different types of cubes and
Yeah.
stuff that I see that, a lot of that.
And okay. Okay, so he's choosing his life.
Hmm.
He's now incarnated. He has 5 years old. Let's go. Let's come back to the present moment. Do you perceive now his connection with the friend? Does he still have it?
No, no, I don't perceive it anymore.
Okay. Um, this 40% of his DNA that is not human, is it beneficial for him in this life?
Mm, no, no, it's not benefiting him. I see him struggling a lot with society in general.
He's not getting a full immersive Earth experience.
No, he's kind of like not getting the point fully.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him having some type of cognitive problems in his physical body. So he's perceived different by others. So it's not really what he was expecting. But I do see him having those experiences that he chose with the toys. He's
Oh, okay.
very likes to touch and play with his hands.
Okay. Okay. Very, very interesting. You can thank him for letting us observe his process. And he also has all the information that we saw, that we perceived, and he can choose accordingly. He can do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, disconnect from Alex, Anastasia, disconnect from this situation, from this scenario, and how, like, at what percentage do you perceive starseeds on Earth right now in June 2025?
2%.
2%. And there are beings that chose to come here.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Let's take an example. Find a person that has a physical body on Earth that has this idea of starseed, but induced from the exterior, from other beings, and the person believes that it's a starseed.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have?
A woman,
How old?
like 27.
Mm-hmm. What's her DNA, her etheric DNA?
I am perceiving 90% human,
Mm-hmm.
5 is reptilian, and
Mm-hmm.
5 is humanoid.
Okay. How do you perceive her energetical space?
Uh,
Is she alone in this space?
no,
Okay.
no, she's not alone. I am perceiving 2 presences.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, each has like a part of her mental body,
Okay.
like a segment,
Mm-hmm.
their personal segment.
And she has the belief that what? What is her main belief?
I see her believing she is from Orion
Mm-hmm.
and that she belongs there.
And how is this belief influencing her current life on Earth?
Well, first of all, it created this vulnerability in her space and um, this giving up of power to something else. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, this reptilian and the humanoid. So an interference. Um, I see her being like the expression with her head in the clouds,
Yeah.
um, having willingly not mm, not fitting in. or not um, not experiencing life as I don't say as a
As a
normal person in quotes.
okay, okay.
In quotes.
So she's willingly not fitting in.
Willingly not fitting in and positioning herself on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I see her being like with her nose up and really believing that she is superior to humans. And I see that especially damaging her relations with other people, with her family, even, and with friends. It's really hard to maintain relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a willingly isolated scenario,
Yeah.
isolating yourself from anything. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How many lives she has on Earth? What do you perceive?
50.
50. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there something else that has your attention about this woman?
No, I think I said everything.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very, very interesting. Disconnect from there, from this situation. Disconnect completely from this woman. And I don't have more questions about this subject, but tell me if right now there's something important that appears to you, something that you want to mention about starseeds.
No.
Okay. Okay. Very, very good. Now I will count from 1 to 3, and the 3, you will be fully in the present moment. 1, disconnect completely from everything, from everywhere, and from everyone, and you return fully into your body. Your space is clean. You feel better and better. Raise your frequencies to your highest levels. 2, your body feels lighter and stronger. You can move it with pleasure and ease. And you're feeling great. You're feeling free, better and better. And 3, you can open your eyes when you're ready. Hello, welcome back.
Oh, what a background.
I hope the word is Pleiades.
I
Maybe we
really
don't
don't
pronounce
know.
it correctly. Maybe we're not
Yes,
pronouncing it right, but
I'm sure the message is there.
all the investigations I did on this subject, we didn't find Pleiades, and I really wanted to find it, so I find it in English where I can't even pronounce it. I think that's that was so interesting. For this protocol, this investigation really taught me things because yeah, we will
It was
discuss more.
interesting.
It was very interesting. I hope you all liked it.
And by the
And
way, I saw an image kind of like the blue guy behind you on
the
the Pleiades.
the Pleiades,
Like the transparency thing, it was kind
yeah.
of like this.
Well, he's here. Alex, this is
He's there.
Alex. We are waiting for you on Friday at 2:30 p.m. Romanian time in our weekly investigation live to discuss what came out of this session and discuss more, even more information about this subject. That is a very interesting subject. So I hope you liked this session. Anastasia, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching us, for listening to us. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Great day. Bye bye.
Buenos días.
Dzień dobry.
Bienvenidos a este primer vídeo de Disclosure en español y polaco.
Bardzo Was serdecznie witamy na tym nowym wideo, które będzie w języku hiszpańskim i polskim na kanale Disclosures.
Vamos a producir mucho más vídeos en futuro como estos vídeos informativos.
W przyszłości stworzymy dużo więcej takich wideo, które będą Was informowały o różnych rzeczach.
Porque estamos notando que cuanto más se va divulgando este trabajo, estas hipnosis por Internet, también cuanto más mala información se está difundiendo.
A to dlatego, że zauważyliśmy, że im więcej wstawiamy sesji z naszymi hipnozami, tym więcej jakby informacji sprzecznych zaczyna się rozprzestrzeniać.
Y entonces hoy vamos a hablar de las sesiones investigativas.
Więc dzisiaj będziemy mówić o sesjach badawczych.
Porque estoy viendo que hay personas que a lo mejor se dedican a una sesión con una persona, se van a algún lugar, preguntan algo y lo poco de información que pueden extraer de una sesión se lo creen como si fuera oro, completamente puro oro.
Bo zauważyłem, że są takie sesje i takie osoby, które robią jedną sesję z jedną osobą na dany temat i kiedy wychodzi tam jakaś informacja, to jest ona odbierana jakby to było rzeczywiście coś niesamowicie wiarygodnego, jakby to było czyste złoto.
Yo os digo que la sesión así dicha investigativa no existe.
Ja chciałbym Wam powiedzieć, że sesja badawcza tak naprawdę nie istnieje.
Entonces podríais como preguntar, entonces cuando haces una sesión a un cliente y preguntas cosas, ¿por qué preguntas?
Więc mógłbyś mi zadać pytanie, więc skoro robisz jakąś sesję z jakąś osobą i zadajesz jej pytania, to właściwie po co je w ogóle zadajesz?
Sí, sabemos que la información en hipnosis está muy, pero de verdad muy contaminada.
My bardzo dobrze wiemy, że informacja, która wychodzi podczas hipnozy jest niezwykle, ale to niezwykle zanieczyszczona.
Y esa información, así como sale de la hipnosis, no podemos tomarla como conocimiento, como investigación.
Więc takiej informacji, która wychodzi podczas sesji hipnozy, nie bierzemy nigdy jako takiej informacji, która jest rzeczywiście bardzo prawdziwa, zgodna z prawdą i oczywista.
En el caso de sesiones a clientes, la información que sacamos nos sirve por otro objetivo. El objetivo es llegar a la causa de su problema y trabajar.
Te informacje, które uzyskujemy podczas sesji dla klientów, służą nam zupełnie do czegoś innego. Celem jest to, żeby znaleźć przyczynę i pracować nad nią.
Pero ¿qué significa que la información está contaminada? ¿Cuánto está contaminada y por qué?
Ale co to właściwie oznacza informacja zanieczyszczona? Kiedy jest zanieczyszczona i dlaczego jest zanieczyszczona?
Hay que saber que cuando nosotros pedimos una información y nos llega a través de una persona en hipnosis, esta información sale de una fuente, para así decirlo, y atraviesa muchas dimensiones, muchas densidades.
Kiedy prosimy o jakąś informację podczas sesji, to ta informacja, powiedzmy to w ten sposób, pochodzi z jakiegoś źródła, ale w międzyczasie przechodzi przez wiele gęstości i wiele wymiarów.
Y también pasa por conciencias, por inteligencias. Esa información viene atrapada en el éter por varios seres.
Ale ta informacja przechodzi też przez wiele umysłów, wiele świadomości, istnieje w eterze i może być przechwycona również przez wiele bytów.
Estos seres, estas inteligencias, pueden voluntariamente o involuntariamente distorsionarla.
I te byty, te istoty lub świadomości mogą ją zniekształcić świadomie lub nieświadomie.
Y además, la persona que está en hipnosis tiene sus creencias, su mentalidad, sus perspectivas, sus opiniones. Esta estructura mental contamina también esta información.
A co więcej, osoba, która jest w stanie hipnozy, ma swoje własne przekonania, swoje własne wartości, wierzenia, swoją własną mentalność i przez tą właśnie strukturę całą mentalną również może dojść do jeszcze kolejnego zanieczyszczenia.
Y además, si nosotros queremos investigar Por ejemplo, una persona o un ser que no tiene ninguna conexión con el ambiente hipnótico donde estamos trabajando, esta persona puede no autorizar la salida de informaciones de sí mismo.
A co więcej, jeśli połączymy się z jakąś istotą, która absolutnie nie należy do tego środowiska hipnotycznego, w którym pracujemy, taka istota może nie zgodzić się na przekazanie informacji.
Si hay interacción, si hay interferencias entre un ser y otro, es posible que circule información por las conexiones, por los pactos.
Jeśli jest jakaś interferencja między dwoma istotami, to wtedy dzięki tym paktom, albo przez te pakty, przez to połączenie, które istnieje, rzeczywiście wychodzą informacje.
Pero si en aquella sesión en concreto ese ser o esa persona se va a cuestionar y no hay ninguna conexión, es muy improbable que llegue una información autorizada.
Ale jeśli zdarzy się tak, że łączymy się z istotą, która nie ma z tym nic wspólnego, to jest bardzo mało prawdopodobne, że dostaniemy jakąś informację.
Entonces, imaginemos que queremos investigar sobre un personaje famoso de la historia.
No, na przykład wyobraźmy sobie, że chcielibyśmy otrzymać informację o jakiejś osobie niezwykle znanej, historycznej.
Si no tenemos de alguna manera alguna conexión con los elementos del ambiente hipnótico y esta persona, aunque no esté conectada, no autoriza esta información, pues no llega.
Więc jeśli wyobrazimy sobie, że ta osoba nie jest w żaden sposób połączona z tym środowiskiem hipnotycznym, w którym pracujemy, może się tak zdarzyć, że absolutnie nie zezwoli na żadne przekazywanie informacji na swój temat.
Y cuando pasa esto, hay siempre o casi siempre alguna entidad que se aprovecha de la situación.
I kiedy to się dzieje, zazwyczaj pojawia się jakiś byt, który wykorzystuje tę sytuację.
Se puede presentar con la supuesta identidad de la persona o del ser que estamos buscando, o puede de todas formas modificar o inventar una información por su cuenta, por su personal ventaja.
Może zrobić dwie rzeczy. Albo przyjąć, zidentyfikować się z osobą, o której chcemy zrobić tę sesję, przyjąć jej tożsamość, albo zmienić informacje, które chcielibyśmy otrzymać, tak aby to działało na jej korzyść.
Nosotros en sesión a clientes podemos trabajar porque el cliente nos autoriza a trabajar en él en su sesión.
Podczas sesji dla klientów możemy pracować nad takimi informacjami, bo otrzymujemy zgodę na informacje właśnie dzięki temu klientowi.
Y podemos trabajar con sus seres queridos, por ejemplo, o con los seres que interfieren con ella, propio porque hay estas conexiones.
I możemy pracować na przykład z istotami, które kocha ta dana osoba, lub z bytami, które w nią ingerują, właśnie przez to połączenie, które tam istnieje.
Entonces, hay una gran diferencia entre la sesión a un cliente para solucionar sus problemas y hacer sesiones para investigar.
Dlatego istnieje taka duża różnica między sesjami, które robimy dla klientów, aby rozwiązać ich problemy, i między sesjami takimi poszukiwawczymi, badawczymi.
Por eso digo que no existe una sesión investigativa.
I dlatego właśnie Wam mówię, że nie istnieje coś takiego jak sesja badawcza.
Lo que existe es un protocolo de sesiones de investigación.
To, co istnieje, to pewien protokół sesji badawczych.
Hay que seguir un protocolo y hay que ejecutar una serie de sesiones y con personas diferentes.
Więc trzeba zawsze śledzić ten sam protokół, a jednocześnie wykonać wiele sesji z różnymi osobami.
El protocolo tiene que ser único, unívoco, porque hay que preguntar en un tema las mismas preguntas para ir en la misma dirección.
Ten protokół powinien być zawsze taki sam, ponieważ należy zadawać takie same pytania, tak aby iść zawsze w tym samym kierunku.
Cuanto más está restringido este espacio de investigación, cuanto más podemos tener más probabilidad de tener buena información.
Im bardziej zawężamy obszar naszych poszukiwań, tym bardziej prawdopodobne będzie, że otrzymamy dobre informacje.
Sí, podemos también aumentar ese espacio, pero tenemos que aumentar proporcionalmente el número de sesiones por hacer.
Możemy oczywiście rozszerzyć ten obszar, ale wtedy będziemy zmuszeni również rozszerzyć ilość tych sesji.
Luego, cuando tenemos una grande serie de sesiones, pero estamos hablando de centenas o hasta de millares de sesiones,
I wtedy mówimy o olbrzymiej liczbie sesji, od setki po tysiące.
tenemos que recoger toda aquella información que es común a todas o a casi todas estas sesiones hechas.
I wtedy musimy pozbierać te informacje, które są wspólne dla wszystkich bądź prawie wszystkich tych sesji.
Esta información común vais a ver que es un porcentaje muy pequeño con respecto a la totalidad de la información.
I zobaczycie, że ta informacja wspólna będzie naprawdę niewielkim odsetkiem tych informacji, które się tam pojawią.
Son pepitas de oro.
To są takie malutkie ziarenka.
Es como si nosotros vamos a un río, vamos a coger este filtro, vamos a coger muchísima arena para recoger solo muy pocas pepitillas de oro.
I można to przyrównać do poszukiwania złota, kiedy filtruje się dno rzeki, zbiera się mnóstwo piasku, a na koniec pojawiają się maleńkie ziarenka złota.
Esa sí que es información de oro.
I to jest właśnie ta informacja złota.
Si hoy podemos decir que hay seres que interfieren bastante con el ser humano y que tienen formas de animales reptiles o de animales a forma de insectos, etcétera, es porque todo esto sale desde que se empezaron las sesiones de hipnosis y hay muchísimas, millares y millares con esta información común.
I jeśli dzisiaj możemy powiedzieć, że są ingerencje, które przybierają formy albo reptilii, albo jakichś insektów, to dlatego, że takie informacje wychodzą od początku naszych sesji hipnotycznych i są wspólne i jest ich tysiące.
Pero si yo digo que en la ciudad de Nueva York, en el 1452, en aquel punto, había una casa que vivía un viejo que se llamaba Tom, pues solo en aquella sesión ha salido y cuanto más contaminada puede ser, no lo va a saber nadie.
Ale jeśli chciałabym powiedzieć, przekazać taką informację, że w Nowym Jorku w 1452 roku stał taki a taki dom, w którym mieszkał taki a taki starszy pan o imieniu Tom, to nie mam pojęcia, jak bardzo zanieczyszczona będzie ta informacja.
Así entonces se hace investigación. Es un trabajo muy largo, muy duro y tiene que ser hecho con un protocolo riguroso y severo.
A więc właśnie w taki sposób należy robić sesje badawcze. Jest to proces bardzo długi, ciężki i który wymaga bardzo restrykcyjnego protokołu.
Y entonces por esto que nosotros ya vamos a empezar a hacer ciclos de investigación.
I właśnie dlatego zaczniemy teraz robić takie cykle badawcze.
La estructura del team, que cada vez va creciendo siempre más, y el número de clientes que cada día contactan con nosotros, nos permiten organizar estos ciclos de investigación.
I ponieważ struktura naszego zespołu cały czas się powiększa, a także liczba klientów, którzy kontaktują się z nami każdego dnia, te czynniki pozwalają nam na to, żebyśmy zrobili taki cykl badawczy.
Creo que ya he dicho todo, o casi todo. Cualquier pregunta podéis escribirla en los comentarios del vídeo o donde sea publicado el vídeo.
Myślę, że powiedziałem wszystko, bądź prawie wszystko, a jeśli macie jakieś pytania, to proszę zadajcie je pod tym wideo.
Gracias por vuestra atención.
Dziękujemy za waszą uwagę.
Y gracias a ti, Milena.
Gracias a ti, Kalo. Dziękujemy.
Chao.
Ciao.